My name's Nathan. I'm 36, a commercial pilot, and I've spent most of my life above the clouds, where things are smooth, predictable, and quiet. Maybe that's why I fell for Camille. Camille was nothing like me. She was fire and movement, a wedding planner who thrived on chaos and could turn a whirlwind into a fairy tale. Her energy filled every room, and when she laughed, people noticed. We dated for 3 years before I proposed during a trip to Maui, right in front of a waterfall. It was picture perfect. She said yes with tears in her eyes, and for a while I thought I was the luckiest man alive. The wedding. Spectacle. The kind of elaborate production Camille was born to orchestrate. She planned everything down to the placement of candles and the angle of the first kiss. She treated it like one of her client projects, but this time it was personal. I paid for most of it. No complaints, even though the costs piled up fast. I wanted her to have her dream. We honeymooned in Italy. But instead of racing through landmarks, we cooked together, sipped wine on quiet balconies, and took long walks through empty alleyways. Felt intimate, like something real, like the beginning of forever. But by the time our plane was heading back, I felt something shift. Camille went quiet, not in anger but in retreat. She kept checking her phone, smiling at messages she never showed me. Her gaze would drift away during dinner. Something in her was elsewhere. 2 weeks later, I got up in the middle of the night to grab water. Her phone was buzzing on the kitchen counter. I didn't mean to look, swear to God I didn't, but one name lit up on the screen: Dylan. Her ex from college. The one she said was part of a life she'd outgrown. The message: I miss how you used to look at me. She walked in just as I read it. When I said his name, she grabbed the phone like it was burning her hands. It's nothing, she said too quickly. He reached out. I didn't ask him to. I asked if she texted him first. She didn't answer right away, and that pause told me everything I needed to know. I didn't push that night. The next morning I flew a short route to Denver, but the silence inside me was louder than the engines. I kept replaying that moment, her pause. Camille always had answers. Except now. 2 days later, we attended a birthday dinner for a mutual friend. Midway through dessert, our friend Mallory leaned across the table, half tipsy, and asked, "So, did you and Dylan ever meet up, or did he ghost again?" Camille froze, fork in midair. "Oh," she laughed nervously. "Yeah, we bumped into each other. Total coincidence. Just coffee." Mallory chuckled. "God, I still remember how obsessed you were with him. I told Brian I'd feel bad for Nathan if Dylan ever came back around." People laughed. I didn't. Camille touched my leg under the table, like that would erase what had just happened. I smiled politely but said nothing. That night I confronted her. "So Dylan didn't just reach out, you met up." "It wasn't romantic," she replied. "He's going through a breakup." "Did you tell him you're married now?" Another pause. "Of course I did." I didn't believe her. The next day she said she was going on a weekend spa retreat with a few new co-workers. "No phones," she smiled. "Just girls, wine, and hot stones." I nodded but didn't buy it. Friday morning, after she packed and left, I followed her. She didn't head toward Napa or wine country. She drove straight into the city. Parked at the Grand Ford Hotel. I waited across the street in my car. At 6:08 p.m. she walked in. Heels she hadn't worn since our wedding, lipstick bold. At 6:22 Dylan arrived. Same face from old Facebook photos. Same arrogance. I followed them into the lobby, keeping my distance, ordered a drink at the bar. Minutes later they met near the elevators. No hug. Just a kiss. Hungry like something rekindled. He pulled out a room key. I snapped a photo. Her wedding ring caught the light just as they pressed the elevator button. That was enough. I walked over. "Camille." She turned like someone had dropped a grenade. Dylan looked confused. "Spa weekend, huh?" I asked, voice calm. She stammered. "Nathan, I can explain." "I'm sure you can. Let me guess. Vulnerable, emotional, needed to feel seen." She didn't answer. "You kept the ring on," I said. That's not confusion, Camille. That's commitment to a lie. She blinked fast. Can we talk? Not here. Home. I opened her laptop. She had cloud backups. Albums. One labeled Madrid. The dates were from 3 weeks before our wedding. They'd been messaging, exchanging photos, while I was planning our vows. I spent the night building a folder. Screenshots, timestamps, photos, evidence. I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a prosecutor. She didn't come home. The next morning, I transferred our savings into a personal account. Called my lawyer. Froze the joint credit cards. When she finally came home the next evening, she looked hollow. Can we talk? She asked softly. I didn't move. She sat across from me. I messed up, she whispered. I was scared. I felt lost. You had choices, I said. You chose him. She tried to explain. I slid the folder across the table. She didn't even touch it. What do you want me to say? She whispered. Nothing. I want you to leave. Her voice cracked. But we're married. No. We had a wedding. But the marriage ended the second he took off your coat. She gathered a bag and left. No dramatic exit. Just silence. A few days later, one of her friends called. She just wanted closure, she said. She booked a hotel suite for closure. I replied and hung up. Then came the kicker. On Thursday, I got a Facebook message from someone named Jess. I think your wife has been seeing my fiancé, Dylan. I'm 6 months pregnant. We were supposed to get married this October. I found messages between them. Some recent, some from before your wedding. She sent screenshots. One said, if I asked you not to let me go this time, would you? Another, I'll say yes, even if I'm already married by then. My stomach turned. Jess said, I just thought you should know. You're not alone. That night, Camille called. Voicemail. He lied to me about everything. He was still engaged. I was stupid. Please, can we talk? I saved that voicemail. A week later, I received an offer from the airline. A 2-year international post in Singapore. Full relocation, great salary. Accepted within hours. Days later, Camille texted. I heard you're leaving. Please, can we meet? I didn't reply. At my going-away party, she showed up. Tight dress, perfect makeup, eyes red. I just need to say this, she pleaded. Dylan lied. Cut ties with everyone. I'm in therapy. I didn't know what real love was until I lost it. It was always you. I looked at her and whispered. The woman I married doesn't exist anymore. And the one standing here, I don't know her. She cried. Nathan, I made a mistake. No. You made a decision. She left alone. My flight was at 6:10 a.m. At the airport I saw her again, this time with her father. I just wanted to be near you, she said, showing me an old photo album. Our wedding, our honeymoon. I remember what we had, I said. And I remember what you did to it. Real love is worth fighting for, she said. I replied. Real love doesn't have to be chased through airports. It doesn't begin with lies and hotel rooms. Her father stepped forward. You done embarrassing yourself. She didn't answer. I turned and walked toward my gate. She stood frozen. I didn't look back. Months have passed. I sold the house. Moved. I live in Singapore now. New city. New sky. And I fly higher than I ever did before.